So I want to say that in my life, I've had an experience or two where I've had a $50 bill. Yeah. Tried to use it for a transaction at a corner store. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, no, not a 50. Sorry.
And
my understanding was that after I followed up at the time, even though I don't remember specifically, people were saying, yeah, 50s are easy to counterfeit. Well, so a lot of places don't take them. What you guys are saying is you've never heard that before.
So,
I don't know.
Me being the brother, I don't want to profile here. They look up every time I give them a 20. Hey, look at the dude. I was like, I get it. Okay. My point to you was you ripped Lucas Alexander, and we're not going for it in 2024. Yes, sir. He goes, I want cash. You didn't specify don't bring in a 50. So my guy brings you a couple 50s, and you got a problem with the 50s.
Did you get
when you didn't tell him?
No, I got two.
Actually, and he's mad.
And 3 hundos and 2 50s?
Correct.
Okay.
But this is where you need to be a man of nuance, Goo, and be. I'm not mad at Lucas. I'm not upset at Lucas. I'm just passing along.
You're upset at the United States government for making 50s.
The mint.
Yeah. Here's the other thing.
When they're not accepted
on the
all
Comcast
places.
business text line, will be like
Discover card of cash.
Has anybody else heard of that with a 50 before?
I've never heard of that.
Okay.
And I have one at home right now, so I really want to know.
Good luck trying to get rid of that thing.
Yeah.
And Goo, they don't really pull the 20 up and look at it.
Oh my boy, my book's coming out. The 10, they'll look. Come on, it comes with it. Come on, man.
Yeah, they all have the thing. They got the
I don't know if the 10 has the thing.
I think it does.
And I'm like, did you really have to do that in front of you? It's a $20 bill.
I think
it's hard out here, Diaz.
I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to question your authenticity. I thought maybe that was material.
No. Okay. It's real. It's insulting. But
big time.
We got some scammers out here though. So
we got a 5.
Yeah, but you're scamming for a 20.
Yeah, it's happened.
Times are
tough. You gotta just laugh it off.
I feel
Does the
terrible.
5 have it?
We weren't even asking about the 5, so I didn't look. I threw the bag back. I feel terrible though.
With the 5.
I paid those movers all in 50s. I feel terrible. I went to the ATM because they wanted cash, and the ATM gives you the options of do you want it in 20s or 50s?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, obviously, let's make this less thick. Let's do 50s. I paid them in all 50s.
Wow.
I hope they're okay.
They're okay.
I hope they don't feel scammed.
Okay, a couple here. 415. There are signs at various. We don't accept bills larger than 20.
Yes, that's different. We don't want to get robbed.
How about the 408? I thought
different.
The 408 on the Comcast business text line saying, I thought 50s being easy to counterfeit was fairly common knowledge.
Oh, that I didn't.
Well, now I got to go.
And then the 209 says, I have Steiny, and they also won't accept old hundreds now either.
Yeah. Hard to find an old 100 now, though. Most of those are out of circulation.
Oh, they got the big 100.
Exactly.
Man, the letters are very big. So here's one thing we were throwing around today is
Draymond.
Woj seems to be reporting that Draymond's getting closer to thinking about coming back to the facility if everybody wants it. So, okay.
Well, the phrase was days away, right?
Days away from going back to the facility.
Days away.
In the coming days. He will report to the facility in the coming days, which, if you really want to get technical about it, was obvious. Because all of the days that are left are coming. They're all coming.
Until they're
no longer
coming.
2026. Yeah. It's coming.
It feels to me like...
Until it's over.
Yeah. Like, whether it's 5, 10, or even a little more, it does feel like, I guess he's going to start the process of coming back.
Ramping up.
And I'm just like, it's too bad.
See,
it's too bad. I would have rather be using this time as a way to embark on something different.
We still don't know, Steiny.
But this to me is my question today.
Yes.
And I think you speak for a lot of fans with the tone that you've struck today. And so let me start by asking you guys this. Do you agree to this premise? Just basketball. Forget locker room chemistry and all this stuff. Just basketball. Do you believe the Warriors are better with Draymond?
At times.
I don't. I thought I did. I don't.
Okay.
So
you're saying they're not better?
No, they're not better without Draymond.
Oh, no, with.
Yeah, they're better with him.
Better with.
Yes, sir.
All right. So if we then take that premise, anyone who just answered yes, that they're better with Draymond, and then we skip to the next, which is, why do so many of you sound like Steiny? If you know that they're better with Draymond Green, why was there a collective,
Because they're both better and worse with Draymond Green. That's why.
But
they're better and they're also worse.
How are they worse?
They're worse because Draymond Green puts you in a situation where the refs are out to get you. We're playing 5-on-8, like the caller you had earlier. We're always playing 5-on-8. And Draymond Green makes you worse because you're not going anywhere this year anyway. And so TJD now doesn't get to play. And, other guys who you may want to have develop don't get to play because Draymond's out there getting, at least one tee a night in 34 minutes, and you're still not going anywhere. So
for me, it's
you went big picture.
But for me, it's
you went big picture.
How do you small and big?
Well,
how do you balance the fact that I guarantee you look at the stats from last year? It's like, boy, when Draymond's at every defensive metric, we're just better. Okay, you're better, but he punched the guy in the start of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that didn't make you better. Or how does that factor in? Mm-hmm. How does him sabotaging last season factor in? Or the percentage he had on last season factor in? It's like, it's weird because, does he make you better? Yeah, on paper and on the stats, he makes you better. Defensively, for sure. But how do you measure the impact the punch had or the constant draining of his energy has on a team?
You can't, which is why he is, A, talked about so much, and B, so exhausting. Because your mind never gets a break. And I think that's what
Bob Myers used that word,
said.
exhausted.
That's what Steve Kerr said it on our show 3 weeks ago. It is worn, and you fans, we all know it. You're worn out. I think that's what it is. The collective response to Woj's tweet today was,
here we go.
And in theory, the Warriors got better. But that response is because you're worn out. You're worn the bleep out. But it's fascinating to me on a couple of levels because – in theory, so many people have said, if you go, why are you so mad at Draymond? Well, it's because he has not been able to stay available.
No, man, no doubt.
Well, if you want him available, then by definition, today's news should be good because he is about to become available. Yeah.
Well, their record with and without is identical.
About the same.
So,
but it's kind of short. Which is that 6 and 4 is kind of like Bob mentioned.
I mean, the whole year.
Oh.
Look at his. I'm sorry. First suspension, and then look at his second suspension. And if you look at all the games they've played, he's only played in about half the games, a little bit less than half. The record with and the record without are almost identical.
If the Niners don't play a game soon, we are going to do the show of which suspension was your favorite. Which Draymond suspension has been your favorite? 888-957-95.
If we do a Mount Flagrant more, there's a debate.
But here's the thing. If you look at Basketball Reference, it'll say something like, it'll be like ejected. Then it'll be like not with team.
Totally.
Then it'll be like suspended.
DNP.
And then it'll be like, and I'll always just, how many games has he missed?
Yep.
Because that number's different than how many times.
He's the Willie Mays of games
incredible.
Missed. He's 5 tools.
And then how do we talk about the 6 games he's been ejected in?
And that should be, he's laughing, but I've spent 3 hours of taking fastballs from him, and he doesn't even know it in the sense that I'm a realist. The team had a natural out. You hit a teammate, we'll suspend you, send a message, and then we can say, you know what, we're not going to re-up you, bye-bye. And nobody would have, I believe in Dub Nation, said a damn thing because everybody was supposed to be exhausted. What did they do? They didn't suspend him. Right. They reward him with a new contract, and then he comes and pays you back, no pun intended, with suspension left and right. So now you're taking on this season, and he's unavailable. So Matt Steinmetz, he doesn't even know the word is disdain because Draymond's going to come back. And he looks at me because now I'm dealing in reality that they're going to say, come back, here you go again, nothing's going to change. So now I've accepted what I believe the team is going to do again. But Matt's like, how is this possible? I don't know how it's possible and what he's done.
I told you
but
how
Mark
it's possible.
Willard and Dan Dibley,
I told you how it's possible.
I'm judging everything
I told you how
by
it's
what
possible.
the Warriors have done, and it's wash, repeat again, rinse, repeat again.
I told you how it's possible. It's possible that at the end of last year, what they were saying, they believed. And that is, we still can win another title, but we have to have Draymond. And it's possible that right now, they no longer believe it.
And that's on the table.
How it's possible.
But it's also possible that they still believe it.
Correct.
And I think that's more
Absolutely.
possible, honestly, Matt.
I agree.
And I say,
But I'm not saying.
no, I think that's more possible, and I don't know if that's the right course, but I do believe that's what they believe, that it's more possible that they win a title with Draymond, even though he's won, and I disagreed with your notion of that being an accident with Yusuf Nurkic, because when you're Draymond Green, there are no accidents.
Well, I mean, we can go back. We can go back. But my point is, we can go back and forth on that all day.
Yeah.
The way the league is, even if something happens and we all acknowledge he had the best intentions, he getting hit. And that's a basketball reality. Like, we may have to realize that he may get unfairly punished again.
Yeah, poor guy.
Poor Warriors. Poor Warriors.
No, poor Warriors. They signed up for this.
No, but I mean,
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
You're going to play 6 games without him.
6.
When if somebody else did something, maybe it'd only be 1 game
Might
without
be 30.
him.
Is everybody ready with their
Might
opinion?
be 50.
Everybody working right now on their opinion when he comes back and Kuminga immediately goes back to the bench for 17 minutes a night.
I've already.
Is everybody
I'm
ready?
waiting on it.
Steve hates the young people.
And that's just what I'm done with.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't.
Ready?
But they're not, Matt. The team's not.
But here's what
They
I would
haven't been, and that's why last year was a joke, and this year's a continuation of the joke.
I would say this though. This to me, and I can't. I think it's appointment television when he gets back. And so I look at today's news with excitement, and it's not even about when he gets back. It's until he gets back. Because I look at these games starting tonight, not starting tonight, it's already been starting, but another one is tonight. You got Jokic in town, and I look at these games and go, think of everything that's on the line. There's the win or the loss. That's the regular thing. But think of everything that's sitting there in terms of information, which is what the team is gathering right now. Every night on Wiggins, Thompson. Right. If I'm Kuminga, I'm taking Woj's tweet and I'm posting it in my locker because I've got about 6 games.
You got to return the slippers.
To show this team that I should not be demoted when Draymond Green gets back. Okay. These games, what they do, like what is his role when he is activated? These next 6, 7, 8 games determine that because they're in the standings. They're in a situation where they can't mess around. They've got to put their best group on the floor at all times, and if that group is Draymond or is not, that gets determined over the next, 2 weeks, right?
Hold on.
You got it?
Oh, no.
What's the problem?
Can you do it? That's the wrong one.
Want to all do it together?
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1, San Francisco,
It's like
an
a
Odyssey
church.
station.
Amen.
You can also check us out on Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah.
Man, father, son.
That doesn't have to be formal.
Yeah, illegal.
Speaking of which, can
name the last station to be fined, by the way, for not doing the legal. Anyway, go ahead.
I was just going to ask you two because you did a great job on that interview. You guys were. It was a great.
Oh yeah, well done, guys.
It was just a real conversation with 3 guys.
We ran it early in the show.
I was listening.
Yeah.
I was listening. I was honored.
It's crazy because we had and we don't always do this, but we had a full-on pre-interview confab with. Look.
Oh,
guys,
gotcha.
You know I don't do this very often, other than like twice a day to every show. But I have to
the
come
boss.
Lucas in, boss in, and we actually talked it out. They talked it out, and I listened. And we kind of had a little bit of a plan, and then when it all happened, it just worked out. I mean, Mark and I pinging and ponging back and forth, and thank you for saying that. We enjoyed it.
So
we held his feet to the fire.
It was great. And you tried to get to Klay Thompson, and to his credit, he didn't want to. And I love Kerr for, that was private. I know Klay talked about it, but I'm going to kind of keep that. I said, man, that's a real one.
Yeah, but he also answered it, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, look, I'm not really comfortable with that, but here's what I will say.
Right.
And listen.
He's great at that.
Well, he's very good. He's very good. Like he takes PR well. Steve knows. I mean, the best example of it this year is when there was a drum beat from 2 to 5 o'clock. I mean, YouTube was just a line of people going, "You better."
Okay,
this is the Moses. Remember the Moody game? Yes. Moody scored like 100 points in the first half, and they never showed up. And people were like, "Ha ha!" I mean, it was just a march, pitchforks, and barely we couldn't even get a question out.
We did? He opened with it.
Well, he goes, I got out coached last night. And I said, oh, how? And he goes, well, and immediately just jumps into, I messed up. And I should have put Moody in, and I want to record.
End of story.
Well, but then I want to record that conversation and bring it home because that's what you want to show your kids.
Yeah.
It's like so easy to just disarm anyone if you're willing to just be like, I messed up.
Okay.
I messed up. If Brad, what's his bleep, said the ref in the Lions-Cowboys
Brad
game,
Wanamaker.
Just
they tried to trick everybody. They got too cute.
The ref.
Can you please just put some respect on his name?
Brad
Allen.
Say,
He
I
looks like
messed
JP
up.
Morosi, by the way.
Everybody.
They are absolute doppelgangers.
Is he also on a flight to Toronto?
And he got downgraded. He
but
won't
you got
be in
me
the
thinking,
playoffs.
Mark, where I was going.
Like the Warriors.
You got me thinking. Over the weekend when that report came out or that video of Draymond Green at LeBron's party, I said, I don't care about that. And it got me to thinking when I heard Coach Kerr say, we need our distance and he needs his, it got me to thinking the light bulb went off. Draymond, he might be mad. And the reason I say he might be mad is that could have been taking his tough love from Coach Kerr because I thought that was a little, we need a break from him. Hold on. Because it was sold to us that he could go practice and be among his brothers. But Dibs, Steiny has taught me, just because you can do something doesn't mean you have to. And Draymond deciding to go to that party knowing he's not available for his team because of what he did, to do that and have that out in the Twitter streets tells me maybe he's looking at the Warriors like they didn't have his back. I don't know how through all this. And I'm just telling you, I wouldn't have went. I would have told wifey I want to go, but it won't look good. And to go, that tells me, man, this thing ain't done.
Well, this man has never showed you that he cares about what other people think. And that's the one thing about that situation.
Yes. But would you have gone? I don't think Dan Dibley would have went.
Of course not.
My mind went there too, but I also think, and this is one of the, I knew that Steve would want to address this last night because he was so quick pregame the other night. He was so quick with the idea of he needs his space and we need ours, and it made all of us speculate that maybe the relationship
and then this report
was really
comes
soured.
out. Yes.
And I was like, I wonder if we're just making that up because it sounded that way. So we really, that was one of the things that was very focused on yesterday, was giving him the opportunity to expand a little bit on it. And, Dibs, he's like, Draymond's in good spirits. And, and so there was a complete, he still didn't put a stamp on exactly where everything stands.
Right.
But it was a very different vibe. He totally removed the idea that Draymond and the Warriors are like all ticked off at each other.
Yeah.
Because that's what it sounded like 2 days ago.
It would have been cool if Steve said, in the coming days, Draymond will be back with us. Instead, it goes, through Woj. And
not his news to break.
Right.
Not his news to break.
It's not Woj's news to break either.
Well, it is because someone gave it to him.
Right.
Somebody gave it to
the Warriors'
him.
news to break. In terms of whose news it is to break.
It's the NBA's news to break.
Well, the NBA didn't say anything.
Right.
So the NBA could come out today and say, whoa,
Well,
everybody,
Woj.
Woj. Whoa, exactly.
Well, I think
which they want.
To me, what I think maybe happened too is Woj got through the league that they're going to, suspension's coming to an end.
Of course.
And so then they talked to Clutch, and then Draymond got to come back. But I think the Warriors were like, wait a minute, we didn't say he could come back yet.
Don't you think the word indefinite is a whole PR spin anyway? They knew exactly about what they were going to do the second they did it, but it needs to look to everybody like, you know what, Draymond, go bye-bye. He's got to go away, and he's got to work on himself and all of that. That they needed that for PR. So that's why you present it to the audience as we don't even know when he's coming back.
I think because I think there's a scenario which the NBA will be like, Draymond's eligible to play five more games. But at that point, maybe the Warriors aren't ready to have him come back.
Well, what if they win all 5?
While he's gone, right? Yeah. Here's the other thing about here's where I got to ask you
what
something.
What if they beat Denver by 18 tonight?
And don't forget to tell them about that tomorrow's segment.
Here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line with Draymond Green. Here's where I'm at with it. The risk of having him around. The risk of him being with the Warriors for the next 3.5 years. It's just not worth the reward anymore. Because I don't think the reward's a title. The reward, the reward is not a title. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Well,
right
what do you
now.
guys think? Now, this question was
It's not worth. Let's move on.
This question was posed to us
late.
earlier. Okay. Forget next year. Forget any future year. Just this year. Do the Warriors have any chance? And I mean even a flicker.
I don't think so.
Without him.
No.
Do they have even a
I don't think
flicker
so.
with him?
I actually don't.
Okay,
think
so now that's not, and I don't like.
But I got you.
Yeah,
There's a difference.
You can't debunk anything, and I know that a lot of people are like, "There's no chance either way." But if you're Steph Curry, and you have that mindset that Warrior fans do, even if it goes from 0% to 1, I think the Warriors think it's incredibly worth it.
And that's why you'll see him soon.
Well,
we got
Back
something
in the
covered?
Warrior
the Warriors
uniform.
think it's worth it because of what it does for ticket sales. Having him and the big three does more for the ticket sales than just having two of the big three.
Yeah, we got special news, breaking news, Steiny. Tell them tomorrow, Friday, that
Why don't you do it, Goo?
Atco, okay, we got a new segment tomorrow. What's bugging you? Brought to you by Atco on Fridays. So tomorrow, this time, it'll be brought to you by Atco Pest Control.
And it cannot be all four of us saying Draymond, right? We can't just say Draymond.
I'm tired.
Yeah,
Like, we
everybody
are not
is.
talking about tonight's game, which I'm nervous that Coach Kerr said it was disgusting about Jokic's 18 free throw game. I think Denver is going to be the best version of Denver because they're hanging on to those comments. You could call me crazy. Like, I don't like that for tonight.
Guru's worried about bulletin board material.
No,
remember when we
Kerr
just
was
hung
adamant about
championship
that.
banners?
That was bad basketball. What did he call it? Gross.
Four-time champion. Oh,
But
they're going to beat us because of the bulletin board.
Did you take that as a rip of Denver? I took that as a rip of the way the game is officiated. More like the league.
But if
I'm
I'm
actually
Denver
with
and
Guru on
Malone,
this
I
one.
think they took it like you only won because the refs kept calling these cockamamie fans.
I'm kind of with Guru. When he brought this up yesterday, I was like, you know what? You may
Yes.
have something there. Not that he denigrated Jokic, but
Come on, man.
he also was just like, "This is the way it's going to." So Jokic, I could see tonight being like,
oh
"Okay,
my goodness.
now I try to score 50 without going to the line one time." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
3.5.
Oh, wow.
3.5.
Who's favored?
Who do you think's favored?
Denver.
That's correct.
No Aaron Gordon. Got rough with his dog.
He did?
what
Yeah.
happened?
He was He was
Yeah.
off the
Minnie.
liquor
No,
and got
hear
rough
me.
with the dog, and the
Hear
dog
me.
bit him.
I want. The dog bit
Yeah, his
him.
own dog.
21.
Why
So
you
he's
gonna get
hurt. I thought he
21,
got
21?
I thought you were saying he got like suspended for conduct detrimental
No,
to dogs.
The dog he was
Dogs.
roughhousing the dog.
He got bit by his dog. What kind
he
of dog?
It was.
It had to be a pit. I
no,
said a pit
I don't
bull.
actually think it was.
Hang on.
That makes it worse than what were you doing to it?
He acknowledged. He laughed and he acknowledged he had some eggnog. Let's just put it that way.
Nog, yeah.
And then he was just
Nogging the dog.
Throwing the dog around?
He
What?
was he's roughhousing with a dog. And
For
the
the dog to bite its owner? I've
Dude,
never.
I've
Very fine
I've
line.
roughhoused with your dog, and I've been licked repeatedly by your dog.
See, there's a difference.
His
between
dog growled at me.
the famous
Like your
Latrell
brother.
Sprewell story.
His dog is, yeah.
The dog attacked the 4-year-old
No
daughter
doubt. That's
and
terrible.
bit her ear off.
That's terrible.
What Aaron Gordon was saying was he got home after a bunch of eggnog,
Feeling
was
good.
really wrestling around and roughhousing with the dog, and it went overboard.
And he's out.
And the dog
Yeah.
snapped at him.
I've had the same thing with my cat, Cliffy. He got me with a 2-piece. Occasionally, I would get rough with Cliffy, and you mess with him a little too much,
See?
and then he gets you with that. He gets you with that 2-piece. It's like, all right, Cliffy, score this one for you.
I'm like, can that relationship be repaired between the dog and
a good
Aaron
question.
It's a
Gordon?
Rottweiler.
I bet.
It's a Rottweiler.
Not a pit.
No
Not a
Yorkie's
pit.
doing that.
Rottweiler, yeah.
No Yorkie.
Yeah, come on.
No shit
That's
is doing that.
But Aaron
Careful.
did say he's a good boy.
He is a good boy.
He's a good dog.
Welcome back, Randy.
Very
Kiss your
sweet,
ass.
very strong, great dog. He's great.
Boy.
He's a great dog.
The guy from
Well,
Mitty got a
yeah.
little piece of the biddy
We
from
will
the dog.
That's a
We'll see
three.
what the dog says when it comes to the podium. All right. You guys have a good one.
Dog's going to get that
Oh,
dog a little
95
Warrior
something.
jersey.